You're probably staring at a shelf of multimeters or scrolling through endless Amazon pages, wondering if any of them will actually give you the resistance numbers you need without pulling your hair out later. It's a frustrating spot. You've got a budget, a deadline, and a job that depends on a reading that's spot on, not good enough. The fear of spending money on a tool that can't keep up with motors, solenoids, or those stubborn choke coils in a transformer is real, and it's why I wanted to take a deeper look before I said, yes, I'll buy this. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you talk about a portable resistance meter, the conversation is different than the usual let's grab any multimeter off the bench. Resistance work often happens in noisy environments, on the edge of a machine, or inside a vehicle where you can't just pull the power cord out and stare at a screen for minutes. The meter has to be precise, it has to be quick, and it has to give you confidence that a reading of 0.12 isn't a fluke caused by a bad lead or a stray magnetic field. That's the sweet spot the Hioki RM3544 tries to own. What sets the RM3544 apart is its 0.02% basic accuracy and the ability to resolve changes as small as 1. In plain terms, if you're checking a motor winding that should read 2.15, a meter that's off by a percent could lead you to think the winding is fine when it's actually on the brink of failure. The RM3544's tight tolerance means that a 0.1 shift shows up clearly, letting a field technician flag the problem before the motor overheats. The range also stretches from almost zero thanks to a 300 mA test current that can push through loam paths up to 3.5 m. So the same handheld can handle a tiny sense resistor in a power supply and the high resistance of a wire harness termination in one sweep. The guard jack feature is another practical element that often gets lost in spec sheets. When you're measuring a low resistance, the probe can pick up stray currents that skew the reading. Connecting the guard jack effectively isolates the measurement path, cutting down on that error. I've seen field techs forget to engage the guard and end up with a reading that's a few percent high, then waste an hour hunting a problem that isn't there. The RM3544 makes the guard jack easy to attach, which is a subtle time saver that you only notice when the alternative is a messy workbench. If you spend a lot of time in noisy shops or near loud machinery, the optional LED comparator attachment and the high-volume judgment tones become more than a nice-to-have. The LEDs light up when the measured value hits a preset threshold, so you don't have to stare at the display while a hydraulic press is thumping nearby. The auditory tones work the same way, different pitch for different zones, so you can walk away a few feet, listen, and know if the resistance is still within spec. For someone checking a batch of solenoid coils on a production line, those cues shave minutes off each test, which adds up to hours saved over a shift. Now, who should consider pulling the trigger on this device? If you're a field service engineer maintaining industrial equipment, a HVAC technician diagnosing transformer windings, or an automotive specialist checking starter motor resistance, the combination of precision, range, and guard jack is worth the premium. Those jobs typically involve repetitive loam checks where a 0.02% accuracy difference can be the line between a pass and a warranty claim. It also works well for lab technicians who need to verify component values before a build. The meter's tight specs mean fewer retests and tighter quality control. On the flip side, if you're a hobbyist who mainly measures the resistance of LED strips, a basic Arduino shield, or you only need to confirm that a wire isn't open, the RM3544 might feel like overkill. Cheaper multimeters that give you 1% accuracy are usually more than adequate for those scenarios, and they won't require the extra purchase of the LED comparator if you don't need